everybody. Are you happy with the new moon in Leo? The new moon occurred just before midnight last night, Australian Eastern Standard Time. And it's this very special moon because it is close to the Lion's Gate, which is when the star Orion, I believe, rises. Although some further information suggests that we only see it when we're in Egypt, because it started out in Egypt. But you know what? The energy still pervades the whole of planet Earth. So let's enjoy Lion's Gate and the energy we think it bestows, because what we have in our minds, is what we believe, and it's all good. It's good belief, not necessarily the fear that's being promulgated by other agencies. We don't want to talk about that though, do we? But we have already had some restless activity in our community, and this may well be exacerbated with this new moon energy, because it's forming a square to Uranus, the maverick planet, the planet of sudden surprises. So expect the world around us to continue to be uncertain. Pluto's forming a lovely trine to Lilith in Earth signs and may well drive more feminine energy into our consciousness, which is not a bad thing. So let me ask you a question. Are you standing in your own power, or are you giving it away? We are very powerful, but we have to claim our power and not abdicate that to governments, medical authorities, religious authorities, a partner, a teacher, or anybody else. It's up to us. So Leo time is an excellent time to claim your power if you haven't already done so. So we claim our power with dignity, with determination, creativity, and generosity. We stand up for ourselves and deny actions from external sources which would invade our sovereignty. It doesn't mean to say that you've got to be mean and nasty and behave like a raving lunatic. It just means you stand firm in your own boundaries and in your own power. The world is not a happy place right now. And I'm struggling to understand how much evil there is actually around us. Clearly, I've been living in fairyland. Now, in many ancient traditions, there have been prophecies which tell of the end of the world as we know it, expecting it to occur around this time. And astrologically, this fits, as there are several major cycles coming together simultaneously. The major 26,000-year cycle ended around December 21st, 2012, 9 years ago, the end of the Mayan calendar. Remember, there were people who were saying it's the end of the world then? Did that happen? No. So it's not going to happen now either, I wouldn't think. But after that, and around that time, you will have noticed the increased influence of female energy on our planet. There are more female leaders. Men are reclaiming their feminine energy, which is beautiful. There is more gender dysphoria in young folk seeking to connect with, whether they're male or female or something in between. We are seeking to balance in this next cycle the dominant male energy of the last 26,000 years. Now, the second major cycle is associated with the precession of equinoxes, and you might have heard someone say that. And you certainly would have heard people talk about the age of Aquarius. We are moving from the Piscean age, characterized by the flourishing of religious dominance, where we sought power outside of ourselves, into the age of Aquarius, where we are becoming more self-responsible, seeking and recognize the power within. Change is occurring big time. And the question is, how can we accommodate that change? Astrologically, we experienced a great conjunction in January 2020 when Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter all came together in Capricorn. The last time this happened was in 1518, 500 years ago. This event in 2020 was the apparent beginning of the change in our world that we had known. In fact, changes had been occurring for many years prior, but we hadn't really noticed. And it marks a time when the systems under which we have been living are being destroyed in order for better conditions to be established. We are witnessing the fall of the monetary system, governments, education systems, health systems, agriculture, and so on. And it's very, very uncomfortable, especially as many of us have become apathetic, comfortable, and trusted our governments to take care of us. Is our government really taking care of us? From the astrological perspective, Jupiter moved into Aquarius in December 2020 for the first time in 800 years. No, that's not quite right. Heralding some hope, because Jupiter goes around the cycle every 12 years. So I've made a mistake here somewhere. But Jupiter in Aquarius is encouraging the Aquarian ideal of being self-responsible and working together as a community, caring for others and our environment. And hence, many are relocating to rural communities from large cities. And the ideal is one thing, but the reality is different, as there are forces in our community generating a divide between us. You will have noticed we have an increasing gap between those who advocate vaccinations and those who do not. Astrologically, there is a conflict between Saturn, the conservative old guard, and Uranus, the progressive new guard. The Leo energy puts these conflicts front and center. There are those who wish to be compliant, believing they are being socially responsible. And then there are those who believe that the whole game is fraught with danger to individual sovereignty and the long-term health of the society. Planetoid Eris, warrior woman, is conflicting with Pluto, exacerbating this conflict, this difference of ideas. I don't know which is right or wrong, but be self-responsible. Make your own decisions. Do your research. Check out not just what you can see on the mainstream media, check the underground stuff as well, because it's very difficult to work out what the truth really is. And respect that most folk are really making the best decision they can for themselves, believing that whatever they're choosing is benefiting their own health, their best health. Now, my friend and amazing astrologer, Maggie Kerr, has some wise words around this current energy, and I put her reference underneath in the notes for this podcast or this video. From various sources, it is clear that as humanity, we have to claim our spiritual connection, as this is the strength that can halt the evil energy. No matter what your faith, hold fast to your spiritual connection and trust that the internal energy in here will be the guidance for you to make progress in this crazy world. Now, one good way to do this is by meditating regularly and visualize the world as you would like it to be. Allay your fears and anxieties by breathing fully into your lungs and oxygenating your body and your mind so that you can think clearly. Spend time in nature and appreciate what you have. Gratitude is a very powerful energy which will attract more power to you. For example, do you give thanks before a meal? It's very simple, but being grateful for having food in front of you is not hard to do. And we are so lucky. Those of you who hear this and read my newsletters, we don't lack food on the table. Be grateful. I am connected to a group that aims to spend 5 minutes every day at 9 o'clock meditating and seeing the world as we would like it to be. This may be seeing all children safe and well fed. It might be having vibrant vegetable gardens and healthy crops. It might be seeing and experiencing families united and happy to be together. Use your imagination. Make time every day at 9 o'clock and just focus on positive outcomes for just 5 minutes. Remember that your energy is very powerful. And collectively, it's more powerful than you think. We are really approaching a tipping point for humanity. And it is not enough to keep going the way you have been living. We have to change. The question is, do you choose to accommodate the messages you're receiving from the authorities and the media? Or do you do some introspection and ask yourself what changes you believe you need to make to keep not only yourself safe, but also your community? It may simply be a change of attitude. I'm reminded of a story of a couple who were close. They'd been loyal and faithful to each other for a very long time, and there was great trust between them. One of them began cheating on the other. In the relationship, everything appeared to be fine. But their friends all knew that there was cheating going on. Eventually, some evidence became manifest, became obvious there was some cheating going on. But the trust between them was such that the messages were ignored. More evidence emerged until the cheating was really exposed, but the sense of betrayal was just shattering. Estrangement. Each taking a new path in life. Now just substitute that couple for the government and the people. Who is betraying whom right now? How do you feel? What will you do? We are in Leo energy for the next couple of weeks. It is time to claim our sovereign power with determination and with dignity. You might like to check out a character called Warren Black. He's from Western Australia, and I'll put his references down below as well. I've watched a number of his presentations recently where he talks about our human rights, our rights as citizens, and other valuable information. His stated intention, as one with some legal, accounting, and general life experience, is to provide education for the people to empower them. He seems to have a spiritual aspect to his messages as well. And again, I'll put a reference for him beneath this message. So we're at the Lion's Gate, a stellar pattern that occurs annually at this time. And the opportunity at this new moon is greater than usual for us to harness that powerful energy, not only for our benefit, but for that of our communities. So take some time out in the next few days. I believe you've got until August the 12th to list your intentions for the future. This is time for your self-confidence, willpower, and self-expression to be harnessed. You might like to think of 8 significant goals and then practical steps towards their manifestation. Think big. Think like the lioness, caring for her pride, being able to provide great conditions for enjoying life, including a party here and there. Leos love a party. Remember that even short meditation is valuable, not only to you, but also to the wider community. Make time for some regular meditation. And there's some a reference to a lovely information I found on the internet about the Lion's Gate, so that's below as well. Just a quick little reminder that turbulent times may be ahead. So ensure you have plenty of food stores and plans if you're not able to get food or power or water. I mentioned it in the last letter, and it may not happen. And I'm hoping it doesn't. But it's best to be prepared. It's best to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Finally, pay attention to yourself. If you cannot get to your regular yoga class because you're in lockdown yet again, maybe you want to try my YouTube class in Leo Energy. It's only short, 37 minutes. But you can choose your time and your place to do your yoga. Self-responsibility. Now, to finish off, just a couple of thank yous. Thank you, Susan Jane of Intuitive Healing. She's not Intuitive Healing. Susan Jane, who invited me to chat with her on her podcast this week. We spoke about the phases of the moon and how we can harness that energy in our lives. You might want to listen to that, and I'll put out the reference when that becomes available. And thank you to all of you who send me messages. I'm delighted that you find these newsletters useful. Keep the feedback coming. Let me know what else you'd like me to write about. In the meantime, have a wonderful Leo period, and I look forward to chatting with you next time we have a conversation. Bye for now.